true. Love carved in stone. Love carved in stone. That's me and my baby. Love carved in stone. Oh, yeah.
But at least I got her on the phone. I asked about a chance of her loving me again. Yes, I asked about the chance of her loving me again. She said she never stopped loving me, and she was coming on the train. I asked her, can you believe it's true? Can you believe it's true?
Hi. How is everyone this fine morning? Morning, Kerry D. Albino Cobra, Iceman, Mr. Andrat, Iron Horse. How are you, Ross, my old pal? Hidden Marty, good morning. Good morning, Chris Herrick. So how the devil is everyone today? And Mr. Voodoo Inquisitor straight out of the gate with a super chat.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
I'm on my way to work in 5, but I wanted to stop in and say good morning. Hope things are well. Things are very well, and thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Voodoo Inquisitor. So, as per usual, if you've got anything to say and your name's not Ross Thatcher, there's a link pinned at the top of the side chat and in the video description. You can send me a voice message. Maybe you've got something you want to say. Maybe you've got something you want to ask. It can be anything. Just keep it sensible. That's all I ask. So, who saw yesterday's video, which is probably right up Ross Thatcher's street, because it was one of the weirdest conspiracy theories I have seen in a long time. Good morning, Ali Puck. Jez of the Mass Reviewer. How are you, pal? That does rule you out, Ross. Remember that very important part where I said something sensible. So, but you know you're always welcome to send me a message, Ross. You know that. That goes without saying. Morning, the happy little fox, a.k.a. Benji. Good morning, Doctor Who and Scully's House of Thrillers. Yeah, so yesterday's video was a bizarre one. I was looking for something to make a video about, and I thought, well, who haven't I made a video about for a while? So Barney came to mind, my old mate Barney. So I thought, let's have a look, and it's getting difficult to make videos about Barney now, because he's moved all his content. He doesn't put his entire videos on YouTube anymore. He's gone to one of these outside, wholly unmoderated websites, and I think, well, he must think a lot of his own content, because he's gone now that you can watch sort of the first 5 minutes of most of his videos, and then you have to join his website and pay to view his videos. So I'll be honest, but we're talking about Barnabas Nagy. I'll show you now, Doctor Who, if you haven't seen the video. He clearly thinks a lot of his own content. So this is what I'm on about. Which is a congenital deformity of the infant skull which is a congenital.
So we can see this elongated skull here, and what they are trying to point out is that it is not really
making sense now,
because the
Doctor
sagittal suture is missing.
Not human? Ah, right, I can see the words not human now shown on the screen in a YouTube video. So therefore it's clearly not human. And it couldn't possibly be a skull showing cranial synostosis, which is a congenital deformity of the infant skull that occurs when the fibrous joints between the bones called cranial sutures close prematurely. So I'm not going to play the whole video. Obviously, you can go and watch it at your I know, Ross. It said non-human, not human. I didn't notice until after the video was edited. But do you really think it's that important? He was trying to say, obviously, Ross, I don't know if you watch my videos. I'd like to think you would, as Australia's #1 Creaky Blinders super fan. But he later on goes to say that what if we don't have brains inside our skulls and we have tiny little supercomputers, and that's what the joins in our skull are for. Obviously, when we're newborn, it's so that it can compress and overlap during birth. But then it allows our heads to grow and everything. But yeah. Oh, Ross, that's an interesting one, actually. Somebody else right. Let me put my false teeth back in. Nobody told me that you can't buy the merch if you're in Australia. They told me that it's ridiculously expensive to have it shipped out there. What did you see, Ross? Was it just you couldn't even select where you live to get a delivery, or was it something else? Durgis, yeah, he thinks the suture scars are like he thinks the sutures are like operation scars. He doesn't seem to understand that they're there for a very specific reason, and that reason is in the first instance, so that we can get out. And the second reason is, as I just said, to allow our brains to grow as we grow. And because one thing I did find out when I was doing the research for that video, which I didn't know, is that your brain doesn't reach its peak size until you're in your 30s or 40s. So I think mine has maxed out now because, you know, I'm 49 in a couple of months. But very interesting stuff. I see. I even learn things when I'm making these videos. Is it cold, Creaky? Why'd you ask? Is it cold? Oh, because I've got a hat on. No, I'm having a bad hair day. I'm having a bad hair day, so I thought I would wear. Yours is still. How old are you, Ross? That beard makes it very difficult to tell. I've always imagined that you were in my sort of age bracket. You were a child of the 70s, but it's very difficult to tell these days. So Peter Taylor says, how will flat earthers explain the what's that? Cupola images from Inspiration 4? CGI? Quite possibly.
CGI.
Because isn't that right, Ross? That's how you explained explain a lot of what you believe as far as the shape of the earth goes. Iron Horse, I turned 50 this year, but I'm a slow developer. Listen, you said that, not me. I would never want to be accused of doubting somebody's intelligence levels, unless, of course, they're a very confused flat earther. But I thought you were about my age, so you're a 1971 baby then, Ross. Same as Mrs. Blinder, because I am, in fact, a toy boy.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
Yes, excellent. Anyway, we've got a message from Don, so let's see what Don has got to say.
Do you ever wonder, hi from Alaska, do you ever wonder that engaging in people with conspiracy theory beliefs and whatnot and unjustified religious views is just giving them the attention that keeps them going? Ever ponder and worry about that? Thanks.
Yeah, obviously that is something I consider, Don. And Alaska, eh? I bet you could do one of these. Yeah, it's something that I'm aware of, but you know, that's why there's certain people that I don't make videos about, like Anthony Riley, for example, and Nathan Oakley. I did make a video about Nathan Oakley, but that was very, very early on in my channel. Yeah, yes, I suppose. But do I worry about it? No, because I enjoy making the content I make, and hopefully people enjoy watching it as well. It's you know, it's one of those things that there's people like, for example, like Nathan Oakley's a perfect example. He thrives off the attention. He's looking for the attention. Expat Taffy, he who shall not be named. You know, he wants people to make videos about them. So yeah, it is a thing, but it's not enough of a thing to make me, you know, not want to make this type of content. We've got another one from Kiwi Gamer. Right, what's Ross saying again? I meant slow physically. I was actually younger than everyone in my class through school, yet still at the top of every subject. Well. What happened then, Ross? What led you down this rabbit hole? I guarantee it was YouTube or the internet in general. It had to be. Another message from Kiwi Gamer.
Do you have in your album collection Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds?
Whose version of War of the Worlds?
Do you have in your album collection Jeff Wayne's musical version of War of the Worlds?
No, I do not. My musical taste is rather eclectic, to say the least. Like, for example, if I open up Spotify now and really hope that nothing starts playing, my on repeat playlist, don't know if anyone's even heard of a guy called Teddy Swims. He's sort of soul. Then I've got Muddy Waters from the Rednecks, Porch Honky from Moccasin Creek, Revenge by Pink, Save Me by an artist called Jelly Roll, Country Boys by Big Smo and Lil White, I Love Rock and Roll, Moccasin Creek, Chasing the Sky from Empire, the TV show, Lionel Richie, Stuck on You, acoustic cover by Dave Fenley, you know, Rockabilly Rebel by Matchbox from the late 70s, early 80s, a lot of blues music, you know, my taste in music. Basically, if I like the song, I like that music. And if I don't like the next song from the same artist, same band, whatever you want to say, then I don't like it. I just like music. I'm not really bothered about what the genre of music is. It doesn't really make any difference to me. AC/DC, I've never, ever in my life liked. Are AC/DC heavy metal, or are they... Listen, Mark, if there was a Little Mix song that I liked, it would be on that playlist. In fact, there could well be one on there, because like I say, I'm not one of these people that feels the need to be, oh, I only listen to cool music, you know, and once it becomes mainstream and popular, I don't like it. Ross, you may scoff, but there's quite a few Justin Bieber songs I like. I'm comfortable enough to say it, and, you know, being not a child, I don't feel the need to pretend that I only like cool music. I just like music.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Some sexy money from the Chosen 187. Thank you, pal. Much appreciated. So yeah, I don't care what the music is. Check out Larkin Poe Blue Sisters. I will note that down, because with me having the memory span of senile goldfish, the odds of me remembering that after the fact are Larkin Poe Blues Sisters are slim to none. Spotify suggestions. Doobie. Yeah, I'm just one of these people that just like music, if that makes sense. I get my peaches down in Georgia. Yeah, I was disappointed when I heard it was Justin. Yeah, so you obviously are one of those type of people then, Ross. So you liked the song, but when you found out it was from Justin Bieber, you didn't like it? Is that what we're saying? Nikolai Holm, sorry. At least you don't question the shape of the earth, Creaky. No, I do not. You are quite right there. I do not. And I am fairly convinced, and let's get Ross's opinion on this, because what better an opinion on flat earthers than the opinion of a flat earther? Ross, answer this honestly, right? How many people that say the earth is flat do you think actually believe the earth is flat? Or are they just... I'm talking now about people like Mark Sargent and Nathan Oakley, people who are making good money from making flat earth videos, flat earth live streams. How many of them do you actually think truly believe that the earth is flat? And how many, and I don't mean specific numbers, and how many do you think by comparison say that they think the earth is flat because they've got a certain amount of traction on YouTube, and now they're making money by saying that? And as I've said many, many times, it's difficult to damn near impossible to get a man or woman to, remove their main way of making a living. What are your thoughts on that, Ross, as a flat earther? How many are really flat earthers and how many are faking it? The Happy Little Fox, aka Benji, doesn't like rap. He thinks it's got a letter missing. Yeah, but raps isn't a thing, Benji. It's just rap or hip hop. You know, if you're an old giffer like me.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Thank you very much. License it, which I'm sure is wrong. I would suggest that a good 99% genuinely believe it, especially those making money from it. It's too stupid not to be genuine unless you're too unless it's too stupid not to be genuine unless you truly believe it. I don't know if I can agree with you there, Ross. You know, does it matter how stupid something is if it's generating revenue for you? I don't know if I can agree with you there, and I definitely don't think that the number's that high. But that's your opinion, and I asked for it. You know, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree with that stat. I don't think it's anywhere near as high as that. And surely, you know, you said it's too stupid not to be genuine unless you but especially those making money from it. Now, I would have thought that the people who are making money from it are the ones who are more likely to be faking that they believe it. Well, will you sell your soul for money is the question. I suppose that's another good way of putting it. I think that may be a little bit OTT in the context of the question I asked, but I agree with you. You know, are they saying it just because they're earning money from it? You know, who are they selling their soul to? The devil? They're fine then, aren't they? But we're not going to get into talking about religion today. The Warehouse 42, how are you, pal? If a comedian can make an arse out of themselves for laughs and money, why wouldn't you believe in a flat earth for the same reason? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So Angie, is this a question for me? Do I believe we have a soul? If that is a question for me, I will attempt to answer it. It is a question for me. No, not really. Not in the way that not in the way that Christian people believe it. You know, as in, you know, when we cease to exist, it leaves our body and goes off to a better place. I don't believe that. You know, life is a precious thing, and, you know, we got to make the most of every day we've got here, because once your time is up, that it's over. There is nothing beyond. I don't think, anyway. You know, if somebody wanted to prove me wrong, I'd be more than happy to listen. But I don't think, you know, how... It depends what your interpretation of a soul is. Depends what your definition of a soul is. And exactly, Benji, I won't find it out until I die, which hopefully won't be anytime soon. No, it's fine. It's fine. Hey, listen, this is what my live streams are about. It's about looking at the side chat and finding things from the side chat to talk about. Because what's better to talk about than what the people watching me want to talk about? I'll give you 100 quid if you finish this stream in your skivvies. How do you know I've got any on? 100 quid to see me in my pants. You got to be joking. Make it £1,000 and you got a deal. Your soul may end up in a soul. Yeah, I don't know. I just think... So, I don't want to repeat myself, but I'm going to, because I always do, even though I say I don't want to. I was baptized into the Catholic Church. My grandparents were, you know, churchgoers. My dad is Catholic as well. My mother just likes the singing. You know, we used to go to church every Sunday. I even used to be an altar boy. I used to believe in God because I was told by my teachers and by the church I went to that God was real. But what's the most respectful? I grew out of it. You know, my youngest son was born with a lifelong medical condition. And that was almost 18 years ago. He's 18 in about 3 weeks. And it changed my whole outlook on God and religion and whatnot, and Mrs. Blinders as well.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
Because the thought process was, well, God's clearly a dick then. Why do that to a child? Why do that to anyone's child? Why allow a child to be born with a condition that affects their life in so many different ways? If God is this all-knowing, all-loving being, why is he being such a dick? And why was he such a dick to my son? You know, and it just sort of went from there. And the more I thought about it, the more I started questioning things. And it didn't take me long to realize that God is not real. Sorry. But unless somebody can give me, like, I can't remember if this was in one of my videos or I watched the video, and oh no, I tell you what it was. No, gone now. I heard somebody saying he was a young Earth creationist, which I know is on the extreme end, even of extremists, religious extremists, and he said. He was talking about the Bible and the reasons we can trust the Bible because we've got eyewitness statements. How? Who is still alive now from biblical times, from 2,000 years ago? Well, 2,000 years ago plus. What eyewitness statements have we got? An eyewitness statement is only an eyewitness statement if the person who saw the event or the crime or the accident or whatever it may be is telling you themselves. That's an eyewitness. Excuse me. That's an eyewitness statement. Once it gets written down and then translated into another language and then passed down from generation to generation, it's no longer an eyewitness statement. It's second-hand information. Now, part of it obviously got lost in translation, and the other bits of it, so the Bible was written originally. It was a collection of word-of-mouth stories. So, for example, I go down to Tesco's today and I see something happen, and I come back and tell Mrs. Blinder. And then once my number is up, many years down the line, Mrs. Blinder is telling that story to my grandchildren. Then my grandchildren tell their children, and then their children write it down. That's not an eyewitness statement anymore. That's a second-hand story diluted 3 times. You know, it's... I don't know. It just drives me nuts. Tracy Langley, good morning, my favourite lurker. How are you, lovely? I personally don't believe God is real, but even if he was, I wouldn't follow him. The Bible is full of death, slavery, and misery. Why would I follow that? Yeah, exactly. You know, and when you've got the likes of Kent Hovind saying that they do things with Christian love. Good morning, Hybrid Steel. How are you? The school run. It's been many a year since I had to do a school run. But, you know, he always says, oh, even when he's doing his episodes of Whack an Atheist, it's all done with Christian love. No, it's not. It's done because you're being a dick. Because you're pissed off that not everybody in the world chooses to believe the same things you believe. And his opinion, along with Matt Powell, is obviously, if you don't believe the same as him, you're inferior. Sounds like something ending with alt to me. But, you know, what do I know? Angie says, I know that life is beautiful, life is painful, life is hard. If it was easy and smooth and everything would be good, how could there possibly be progression? We need the pain to experience joy. Exactly. If you never felt sad, how would you know what it felt like to be happy? And if you never felt happy, how would you know what it felt like to be sad? It's balance. You've got to experience all sorts of things. Painful. You've got to experience things that rip your heart out of your chest, reverse over it with a 20-ton truck, and then stuff it back in via your arsehole. Because if you don't have painful, hard experiences, you don't grow as a human being. I'm sorry, but you just don't.
If If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
This is getting really dark for breakfast entertainment, isn't it? And I know it's not breakfast time everywhere in the world. I'm not that stupid, but I couldn't think of a title again. So, in case anybody isn't aware, I had this second channel anyway. But it's a place for me to upload these live streams so that people who don't catch them live can watch them if they want to. There's not even 2,000 subscribers on there, but if you aren't subscribed, I'd appreciate it. If you did jump across and subscribe, because I've done this at the request of the audience. There were people who suggested putting my live streams all in one place so they could be watched after the event. The reason I don't leave them on my channel, and I'm hoping Hybrid Steel has heard the same thing, because I know that that Hybrid Steel is in some of the same YouTube guru type groups as I am. It's live streams, because they've got a much lower retention percentage. They can possibly, in theory, hurt the channel overall. So that's why I don't leave them up on my channel anymore. Brad, this second channel is called Creaky's Live Life. There's a link under this video, but seeing as I'm feeling like Mr. Helpy Helpington, there's also now a link in the side chat. So if you do want to subscribe, jump on there and hit the subscribe button. Ross says nobody. Yeah, that's exactly what I've done, Hybrid Steel. Exactly what I've done, and that's why I've done it. No one ever wants to hear the painful truth, do they? Ross, I completely agree with you, mate. Most of the time, people don't. If, there's very few people, I think, that, that are quite happy to face any situation. Listen, who else here, and give me a thumbs up in the side chat if this is the case, who just likes an easy life? No drama, no messing around, no hate, no arguing. An easy life is the best way to go, in my opinion. And remember, it is only my opinion. So yeah, I agree with you, Ross. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, especially if it's painful. It's one of those things that revolves around just wanting an easy life. I mean, why would you want to make your life more difficult than it needs to be? To me, that just doesn't make any sense at all. It really, really doesn't. So yeah, ignorance is bliss. Just ask a flat earther. Hey, Ross. Unfortunately, a lot of people tend to bury their heads in the sand, and they're quite happy living in ignorance, if you like. When did that happen? Anyway, why didn't somebody tell me my Patreon supporters had disappeared from the screen behind me? Come on now, you meant to look after me. Angie says, I'm comfortable with my ignorance of not knowing everything. Very American. Easy is no fun. Life would be such a dick in the mud. There's certain things. They say, I forget the saying word for word, but it's something along the lines of, don't listen behind closed, people who, somebody must know this, people who listen to other people talking about themselves. Start again. People who listen in on other people's conversations don't always hear good things about them. Does that make sense? We're talking about everything and nothing, pal. At the moment, we're talking about ignorance being bliss, and people not always or necessarily wanting to hear the truth. It was Ross Thatcher Iron Horse, who started off this line of conversation by stating in the side chat that people don't always want to hear the painful truth. And even though Ross is a flat earther, I completely agree with him. A dick in the mud is all fine and well until you hit the crab. Oh dear, Ross. No, that I know I've heard that saying, obviously, but that's not the one that I'm talking about. I can't think what it is now, but it basically means if you listen in on other people's conversations, you're not going to hear anything good about yourself. You know, so it ties into ignorance is bliss, and, you know, don't listen behind closed doors or whatever it may be.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
So, what do you think? Do you think ignorance is bliss, or do you think that we're better off knowing everything everyone says about us? You know, for example, if somebody makes a video about me, a response to one of my videos, whether it's a flat earth, a conspiracy theory, it can be anyone. I don't always watch them because, like I say, why would I want to hear somebody saying mean things about me? Because I try not to be too mean in my videos. I try to make it, you know, light and comical. That's what I try to do. Tubler says, I think that's an amazing Australian accent you have. Thank you, mate. I'm very grateful for that, and thank you for noticing. You know, somebody... the number of comments I get on my videos from people asking if I'm Jamaican. Do I sound Jamaican? I don't think I do. I think I sound Welsh. Minus the accent. Take care, Hybrid Steel. Thanks for dropping in, pal. I'll speak to you soon. I think ignorance is bliss. You're just going to react negatively if you hear somebody saying crap about you. Absolutely 100% true. If we knew everything, we'd get so angry. Ignorance is bliss. You just get to see through the glass darkly or something. I agree with you again, Ross. Twice now I've agreed with a flat earther live in front of my audience, so I can't even deny it after the fact. What are you doing to me, Ross? Making sense and stuff. This is not like a flat earther. It's making me a little bit discombobulated. If that's even a word, which I know it is. I'm just being facetious. Bill Baggins. Everyone is a dickhead in someone else's eyes. Accept that and ignorance loses some importance. Exactly. Somebody asked me in Sunday night stream, have I made any enemies on, you know, since I've been doing YouTube, or since I've been a YouTuber. I don't know. Probably. But I've never gone out of my way to look into it and find out if I have. The only occasion I can think of, initially it did upset me a little bit, but then, and by a little bit, I mean for about the first 15 seconds after me becoming aware of it, was when I made a video about the mud flood, or the alleged mud flood, and Philip Dauphinoise Potatoes, or whatever the hell his name was, that Russian guy, made a really vicious response towards me. Well, that's what he thought it was. He was basically playing basketball and talking about the Russian mob and, you know, all that kind of thing. So I just followed my own self-imposed rule. Delete, ignore, and block. And guess what? I've never heard from him again, because he just isn't important enough to live rent-free in here. Why would the opinion of somebody else make any difference to my life? I do not look like the average 49-year-old man, right? I'm fully aware of this. I get judged all the time. I get people saying, oh, aren't you worried what you're going to look like when you're older? No, I would not. I got my most recent 30-day ban on Facebook for admitting I'd stab you in the front, never the back. Not you personally, anyone read. Ross, I am exactly that way myself. If I've got something to say to somebody, I say it straight to their face. What is the point in saying it behind their back? And a lot of people dislike me for that. Mrs. Blinder says I'm too honest. Can you be too honest? I used to work, I've done loads of different jobs throughout my work career, right? And a lot of the work I did when I was a much younger man, I worked in the motor trade. So in vehicle dealerships, you know, I worked for Mazda, I worked for Mercedes-Benz, I worked for Ford, Vauxhall, you know, I worked for a lot of main dealerships. And I also worked for a Motor Factors, which is, I don't know what you guys call it, like an auto parts store, I think Americans would call them. I haven't even got a clue what Australians would call them. Somewhere you go to buy parts for your car. If you need to buy new brake pads for your car and you're either too poor, too stingy, or just, you know, don't want to support a main dealer, you go there and you buy spurious brake pads, you fit them to your Ford Focus or whatever it may be. So I worked in this Motor Factors, as we call them in the UK, for a few years, and I didn't really like the job, but it was a job. I needed to have a job to get paid to support my family, so you just suck it up and get on with it, and you make the best of a bad job. So I'd started working there, and it was monthly salaried. So the first month went by, it was payday. Guess who didn't get paid? Me. They diddled me. So anyway, we were coming up to doing a stock check. And in the contract of employment, it stated, and I knew this beforehand, that the company I went to work for did not pay overtime. If you needed to stay late, you know, they claimed it was built into your salary. It was a load of old shit. It wasn't. They were just too mean to pay you for doing extra work. So there was a stock check coming up, and my new manager, and bearing in mind I'd only been there a month, said, you know, we're starting doing the stock take on, and they did it on a Friday, right, to make it even worse. So on a Friday night, they wanted you to stay until midnight to start doing the stock check, then come in and work all day Saturday, all day Sunday, all for free. You don't get paid for it. So I said, well, no, I'm not going to do that. And he said, oh, but you have to, because it's in your contract of employment. I said, okay, that's fine. You're right. It is in my contract of employment. But so is me getting paid. And I haven't been. So why would I possibly find any way of motivating myself to do 2.5 shifts for free? So anyway, it was the day of the stock take starting. It was the Friday. This all happened in the same week. And my manager was coming around, you know, all right, I'm going to buy everyone a Chinese tonight because I'm such an awesome guy. So he came up to me and he said, what did you want from the Chinese? And I said, nothing, thanks. Oh, aren't you going to eat? We're going to be here till 12. And I said, no, you were going to be here till 12. I said, I've already told you I'm not. He said, you've got to. He said, you've got to. He said, because if you don't, you're breaching your contract. And I said again, my contract says I get paid and I haven't been. And because it was a monthly pay cycle, by this point, it had already been sorted out, which I knew, but I had to wait till the end of my second month. Now, you know, I know everybody's financial circumstances are different, but when, you know, we had young children, so Mrs. Blinder didn't work, I was the sole breadwinner. So how was my family meant to make it through 8 weeks with zero income? How were we going to feed ourselves? How were we going to pay our mortgage? How were we going to pay for anything? Anyway, so I ended up not doing it, and everyone hated me, which was fine because I hated all them as well. A couple of months later then, it was coming up to Christmas, and it was time for the staff Christmas party. And they were all coming around, all right, we're going to such and such, what do you want to order for? And I just said, look, I said, I'm not coming. Oh, no, come on, you've got to come, it'll be a laugh. I said, it won't be a laugh for me because I don't like any of you. I said, it's bad enough I find myself having to work with you. Why would I want to socialise with a bunch of dicks as well? So, being honest can be a blessing and a curse. Sadly. Good morning, Mr. Merlin. How the devil are you? Haven't you got young minds to mould? But nice to see you, pal. Very nice indeed to see you. Has anyone else sent in any voice messages? I'm forgetting about these voice message things. No, they haven't anyway. Now, is this because you're not finding it interesting enough, or because for the first couple of live streams this was going well and I thought it was a good thing? Jenna Brazell says, we had a discussion in Working Men's that you are not motivated to work if you pay it all to the landlord, and if your landlord's your boss, that's even worse. Yeah, it's I saw something in I think it may have been in a video. I saw something in a video once, and it says a self-employed person should always pay themselves first before they pay any of their bills or any of their staff. Because if you're not paying yourself, then where's the motivation to carry on being self-employed? But that person, I would hazard a guess in saying, either is no longer or has never been self-employed. Sadly, that just is not how self-employment works. Anyway, we've got a voice message from Drew.
Hey, Creaky, what's your opinion on the hollow earthers?
Now, I've only ever made one video on Hollow Earth, but I would guess, because it was 2 years ago at least. I think I've only ever made one. It's just another crazy conspiracy that can't be proven, isn't it? You know, it's no different to flat Earth. It's just these idiots are saying the Earth is hollow. It's the same thing wrapped up in different packaging, in my opinion.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Alien Spore says, been too long. Good to see you, buddy. How are you, pal? How are you? Tracy Langley says, I worked in a sewing factory and they tried to get us all to do stock take on a Saturday, unpaid. But Saturday is beer day, so no chance. Yeah, but this, if it's not in your employment contract, they can't do anything. But it was in the employment contract of the place I was just talking about. So you were signing up to that. And it was a company that my mother worked for 35 years. Same company. And she didn't do a lot of overtime, but the overtime she did do throughout her 35 years with this company was always unpaid. And money isn't everyone's motivation. It is when it comes to what they do for a living, Matt, in my opinion, unless they... I know there are some exceptions and some people just really love what they do for a living. But for the average man, you know, you take away their ability to earn money, and it changes their opinion on it. And Matt also says, I worked in the coal mines. You didn't get a day off even if you had deathly flu. I got seriously injured one time and I was told that I was making it up because they didn't want me to mess. Yeah, it's God, no, that's a hard job, Matt, I mean. Being a collier, obviously being Welsh, my grandfather on my dad's side was a collier all his working life. And believe it or not, he actually died from pneumono-ultramicroscopic siliphone volcanoconiosis, which is silica dust in the lungs. But at the risk of sounding like a conspiracy theorist, my grandpa's doctor was also one of his friends. They'd known each other for like 50 years. And, you know, he told us, he said, I that's what he died from, but we're not allowed to put that on the death certificate. So he put heart failure cause, but I can't remember what the thing was, but he died from silica dust in the lungs, pneumoconiosis. but his doctor / friend wasn't allowed to put that on the death certificate.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Thank you, and yes, I completely agree. Completely agree with what did I say? You people have got to start giving me some context. I've got a very short memory span. Mr. Merlin says, I have, pal. Got to go and get myself ready for filling the grey matter of the little darlings. Yes, it's teaching is one of those things. I think that's definitely not just a job, is it? It's a vocation. It must be. How can you put up with 30 kids in one room all day? I just couldn't.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Good eye, mate. Salary versus wages is always a trade-off. The remuneration has got to be there for the times when overtime is not needed to offset when it is. Don't you think, though, that if people do something, they should be paid to do it? Salary versus wages. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason why they do it, and that reason is to save money. But, yeah, I just don't like the idea of asking somebody to do something and them not getting paid to do it. I don't know how many of you caught Sunday night's live stream, either while it was live or on catch-up on the second channel, Creaky's Live Life.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
But I was talking about my comment section and how I'm finding it quite difficult now to manage the comments on my videos. Because obviously the channel is growing. I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of emails, messages, tweets, everything. And it's some days it feels a little bit overwhelming. And it was suggested to me that I need a team, I need somebody to, monitor my comment section. And then, if there's something that specifically needs my attention, they can point that out to me and I can deal with it. But I can't take advantage of people. How can I expect people to do things for me on my channel which will help me to make more money without offering to pay them anything? And unfortunately, even though I'm really pleased with where my channel is and it's doing well and everything, it's not doing well enough to pay somebody a salary. So I just can't take advantage of people. And I think that's partly why I'm of the opinion that if you expect somebody to do something for you or for your business, then the very least they deserve is, a suitable salary. What time is it? I've been bumping my gums for ages. Lex Tech says, good morning, Creaky. Unfortunately, I only found your channel a few days ago. I'm playing catch-up with your previous videos. Love your humour and sarcasm as it's close to my own. Thank you, pal. That's very much appreciated. It's always nice to hear from a new subscriber. And we've got another voice message from the lovely Kiwi Gamer. So let's see if I can understand what he says this time. Accents and stuff.
I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on the religious people that keep calling America Babylon?
Oh, Kiwi Gamer. Sorry, pal. I'm not aware of that. Is that a thing? Can you send me any examples of it via email? I'd be very interested to look at that. And we've got another couple as well. One from Bill.
If you went to the dark side and started promoting some conspiracy theory on a channel just to make the money, what would be your conspiracy theory of choice to promote?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I can't give you a specific conspiracy theory right now off the top of my head, but I would do some keyword research and see which conspiracy theories have got the most traction, and I would pretend to believe in that one. Good question, Bill. And the next one's from Joe.
Good morning, Creaky. You ever thought about maybe making a Reddit page? I think that might be something pretty nifty.
Now then, Joe, I already have a Reddit page. I don't even think... there we are. Let me just log in and I can share it for you, because I do already have a Reddit page. And at first I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna use this and it's gonna be awesome and loads of people are gonna interact with it. It was at the time where I was completely fed up with oh, what's going on here now? Get away, Reddit. When I was completely fed up with Discord, as I still am, but you know, it just seems like Discord is the lesser of two evils, because you know, I just got fed up with it, and fed up with people arguing in there, and you know, people backstabbing other people. You know, this is, you know, I do this for fun, you know, and it became my job. You know, I don't do this for drama. I know there's some channels that thrive off drama, and I'm not talking about in our community. I'm talking about, you know, in general, but, you know, I'm waffling now again. I'm going to have to change my name to Bird's Eye because I waffle so much. I've lost it again now. But I don't know if it comes up when you Google it. Creaky Blinder Reddit. I would be in a flat earth Reddit, wouldn't I? Creaky Blinder. See, I don't even know how to use Reddit, so I don't know how to find... Ah, there we are. So, oh my, you can see the last time I used it. This is like my original, well, one of my very early channel wallpapers and avatars. So this is my Reddit. Maybe start using it and, you know, and inspire me to get back into it. So I know that was a massively long-winded way of saying, yes, I do have a Reddit page. Conspiracy theory is simply a term coined by the ignorant to dismiss and ignore a harsh truth that they'd rather not hear. Sorry, Ross, but that's wrong, mate. A conspiracy theory, all to conspire means is that myself and one other person are plotting or planning to do something behind the backs of other people. And theory was added to it because of people like you, Ross. And I say that with the greatest of respect. You know, I think we get along just fine. You know, we have a laugh. But I can't agree with you on that one, mate. It's called a conspiracy theory because of people that believe the earth is flat and that the moon landings never happened. The word conspiracy has lost its meaning since having the word theory automatically tied onto the second half of it by everyone who thinks of the word conspiracy. In my humble opinion, anyway. If anyone needs Tracy, she'll be in the kitchen. Oh, I tell you what, Trace. My coffee cup's nearly empty and I could murder a bacon sandwich. No offense, that vegan teacher who still has not made a video about me. Somebody said conspiracy cats. Is conspiracy cats in the house? I cannot and did not see him. No. I'm completely lost why you just blurted out conspiracy cats. Cats? Pats? He's not a cow shit. It definitely helps to love what you do. Lex Tex, it 100% does. As I said earlier on in the stream, I worked for lots of people for lots of years. I did everything you could think of. I worked in the motor trade. I worked in a care home looking after people with brain injuries. I've done everything you can think. I was a sales rep for Pepsi. I'm one of these people that I don't really care what I do for a living. You know, when people ask you in school, what are you going to be when you grow up? I still don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up. But right now, I'm quite happy being a YouTube creator. I don't, you know, I know there's some people who've spent years and years going through university. My own cousins, one's a teacher, one's a doctor. My cousin that's a doctor who lives in Australia, She spent so many years in higher education. She's 35 now, and she's still further in her qualifications as a doctor. But I love doing what I do. Some days I can't believe my luck. But is it luck? Or is it the amount of work I've put in and the amount of money I've invested back into the channel? Because every month when I get paid, the first thing I do is put something back into the channel, whether it's a new microphone stand or it can be anything. I always try to put something back into the channel, and it's not necessarily a physical item. Like yesterday, for example, not yesterday, the day before, I signed up to a website called Storyblocks, so that instead of just staring at me when I'm talking about whatever I'm talking about, I can play some interesting B-roll over it that's relevant to what I'm talking about, and that's £65 a month. So, it's just another thing that I'm paying for to try and take the channel to the next level. Has your vape shop got a website? It hasn't, Dave. No, we tried it before, and as odd as it sounds, we just couldn't compete. The reason being, for example, this little device here, we sell these in the shop for, I can't remember how much they are now. Brian Pop Robson, you bought one of these yesterday. How much was it? I can't remember, but probably the wrong thing to say in front of Brian, but you can buy these on Amazon for less than we buy them off our suppliers for. Because whereas we'll make an order with our supplier and say, oh, can we have 5 of those? That'll last us a week. Amazon probably contacted them and said, oh, how much each would they be if we bought 200,000 of them? So we just haven't got the buying power, which is why we can't compete online. So we just gave up trying. Plus the final nail in the coffin was when somebody ordered nearly 200 quid's worth of stuff, paid over the phone, came in to collect it, off they went, and then 3 weeks later the money got taken back from us, and turned out it was a stolen credit card. And who gets shafted? The retailer. And we never were able to recover that money. So, hi Creaky, I never miss a stream, and I love your videos, it makes my day. Thank you, Paul Davis. Well, you may be one of the few who is interested in this. I've started a second channel called Creaky's Live Life, and I'm uploading every live stream to that second channel so people can watch them after the event. See, I don't share that opinion. A lot of people are of that opinion because he's the richest man in the world. He's just a better businessman than I am. He's a much bigger company. He's got more buying power. Plus, he only owns 16% of Amazon anyway. He founded it, but he's only a shareholder now. That's not how my mind works. Say, for example, I'm walking around the town centre and I see somebody, a youngster, somebody in their 20s driving a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce. I'm never jealous. I'm never envious. I just want to know what they did to be in a position where they can afford a £300,000 car and be able to afford to run it and maintain it. So I don't get jealous. I just get curious. What are they doing? And how can what can I do to apply that to what I do? I need that channel, Creaky. I don't always get to see your live streams. Yeah, that was the theory, is that there were, I choose not to leave them up because it hurts the channel overall. But I thought if it's a second channel, if it's just filled with my old live streams, at the very least it gives people somewhere to play them in the background while they're working or whatever it may be. And obviously I'm editing out the 5 minute, starting soon screen and and all that good stuff. So, you know, it was just something I fancy doing. Thank you, Dreadpool82. I love your videos too. Have you got videos? I don't know. Why is your avatar missing? Exactly, Nikolai.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
But don't break your phone just to please me, you know. You can gently stroke it, you know, as long as it gets pressed. Anyway, we've got another voice message coming from Drew.
See, on the topic of minimum wage in the U.S., that is a joke. I live in Arizona.
On the topic of what? Let me start that again. Sorry, Drew.
I do fabrication and welding. See, on the topic of minimum wage in the U.S., that is a joke. I live in Arizona. I do fabrication and welding for a living. I've been working for the same company for 11 years. I just barely got myself up to $20 an hour. And for the basic cost of living, which is what minimum wage is supposed to be based off of, you know, a one earner income for a home, I should be making about $27 an hour for the areas that I live in. So yeah, labor wages is a joke.
That's a see now. I can't comment on America, obviously, but in the UK, the minimum wage is £8.91 per hour. So £8.91 in US dollars is, what's that in dollars? $12.33 an hour. That's the minimum wage here. Now, whilst I understand why you're saying what you say, and, you know, if this upsets some people, it upsets some people. My vape shop, for example, if the minimum wage was raised to, I don't know, what's $20 in British pounds? $20. Ooh, 420. That's not what I meant to type. $20 in pounds. £14.46 an hour. If the minimum wage in the UK was raised to be of an equivalent to the minimum wage in the States, I would have to sack my own son, because my business could not afford a full-time salary of nearly £15 an hour. And there's a lot of small businesses that are in that position. Obviously, I don't know what size the company is you work for, Drew. And if it's a huge company, you know, they're just being mean. You know, we try to pay just over the minimum wage so that we're not being mean and only paying minimum wage. But, you know, it's a self-employed person will always have a different opinion from an employed person on that sort of thing. You know, and unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of small... I remember when minimum wage was brought in the UK. It was when I was working in that motor factory I was talking about. And there was a small company that used to come in and clean the buildings, and he employed 18 people as cleaners for other small businesses. And when they brought in minimum wage, he had to lay off 10 of his 18 staff, because with the new minimum wage that was implemented, he could only afford to pay 8 people, because the minimum wage came in, but he couldn't charge any more for the service he was providing and stay competitive. So I understand what you're saying, and trust me, I know it sucks to struggle for money, especially if you're working hard and you feel like you're not being suitably compensated for it. But sometimes, unless it's a huge company that's just being mean, you know, there can sometimes be a reason for it, whether it's right or wrong, you know, and whether people agree or disagree. You know, that's the position that my business would find itself in if they were to raise the minimum wage to £15 an hour.
Ooh, welcome to the Blinder Gang, Mosh.
I know, I haven't got an upgraded membership button, but thank you very much, Mark Douglas, for upgrading your channel membership. It is much appreciated. Yeah, so I don't know. That was a bit of a strange one to talk about. Jerry Sullivan says $7.35 an hour is minimum wage. Some states have it higher, but not all. Are you serious? $7.35? That is disgustingly low. £5.31 an hour. That is low. In the UK, see, the minimum wage works on a tiered system. So anybody who's under 18 gets one minimum wage. I think it's 18 to 25 get a different minimum wage, and then 25 plus. There's a tier for that as well. But yeah, it's the minimum wage screwed some businesses, but most were treating people like a workhorse. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just one of those very divisive topics, and it depends which side of the minimum wage you're on. If you're on the side where you're receiving it, you'll have one opinion. If you're on a side where you're giving it, you'll have another opinion. When the whole lockdown thing happened, people who've been here before will know that my shop is a family business. So, we just got together as a family and said, there's no money for us. We can't take any salary from it. I couldn't have said that to an employee who wasn't my son, could I? Because they would have sued me, taken me to court and said, you've got to pay me. And then I would have ended up paying out of my own pocket. So not only would my business have struggled financially, but so would my family. So, yeah. Steaming Cup of Reason, good morning, pal, how are you? The average monthly income of a local Vietnamese is the equivalent of about 300 USD. And it's nuts how massively it varies throughout the world. So about, I don't know, maybe 10, it could even be more than 10 years ago, I went on holiday with my entire family to Egypt. Fantastic holiday, one of the best holidays we've ever had. This was before all the troubles out there. And it was a lovely hotel. We were advised not to leave the hotel because, pasty tourists, Egyptian people, they just told us not to. So we were there for 10 days. We got friendly with people there, and we were speaking to staff and everything. So anyway, there was a pool bar, and the guy who worked behind the pool bar was a guy named Mohammed. Really cool dude. I got on with him really well. We used to chat with him for hours. Well, anyway, so one day the conversation got around to what you do for a living, all that kind of thing. Not him, obviously. I knew he was a pool man because he was there serving me beer from behind the pool bar. So, I said to him, do you live locally then? And he said, I do now. He said, but I'm from Alexandria, which is the capital of Egypt. And he said, I came down because I doubled my salary to £300. And I thought, and this was, it may even have been 15 years ago, and I thought, £300 a week? That is absolutely nuts. A barman does not earn £300 a week in the UK. But it turns out it was 300 Egyptian pounds, which is 30 quid. So he was earning 15 British pounds a week. So what's that, about $27 in Egypt, in Alexandria, and he came to work in Sharm el-Sheikh, which is where the resort was we stayed, because he doubled his salary to £30 a week. So he was on 120 quid a month. So what's that, $200 a month? And that was only 10, 15 years ago. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But it just goes to show how massively it varies throughout the world. So I gave him a tenner of British money because they love British money out there. And after it was a tip because he was an awesome barman. It was an all-inclusive resort, but there were fridges and everything in the room. And we'd go back to the room at the end of the night and he would have been up there, let himself in, sniffed my underwear and rifled through my sock drawer and filled my fridge with beer at the same time. So I give him a tenner tip. And I thought after that's a third of his weekly salary as a tip. It's just absolutely nuts. Matt Bryce says it's hard to quantify though, since rent there is probably like 30. Now, that's the funny thing, we'll see. It wasn't. The best example I can give is cigarettes. Cigarettes were 5 Egyptian pounds a pack, which, no, sorry, I'm lying. 2 Egyptian pounds a pack, which was like 20p. So I was giving him money to go and get me fags all the time. But, you know, that was the interesting thing. The cost of living was nowhere near as high as, you know, Western countries, the UK, you know, but it certainly wasn't as low as you would think it would be for somebody who's only earning 30 Egyptian pounds a week. 30 quid a week, 30 UK pounds a week. But yeah, it's a strange thing. Any more messages come in? Yeah, we got one from Michael T.
Hey, Creaky, Michael here. The thing with the minimum wage in America is that when it was started even, it was based upon no company should be able to exist that doesn't pay its workers a decent wage. And they were talking about not a bare bones, straight by existence, but a decent, respectable wage. The problem nowadays is federal minimum wage. I believe it's only $8-9 an hour. And what happens is the biggest, most profitable companies, such as your Walmarts and this or that, billions in profit every year. We, the taxpayers, end up subsidizing their payroll because the majority of their employees require housing assistance, food stamps, so on and so forth. And there's many companies like that. So it's definitely a huge problem.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's what I said earlier on about these big corporations doing it as well. You know, the likes of your Amazons and Walmart and, you know, Tesco's in the UK. They have got no justifiable reason to pay anybody minimum wage. They should be, you know, paying their employees appropriately. We've all heard the old saying, if you pay nuts, you get monkeys. You know, if you want good quality employees who will work hard for you, respect them and pay them well. We had before Lord Callum came to work for the shop, we had a young boy, about the same age as Callum actually, working for us. And, you know, I'd go round at the end of the day to do the banking and, you know, drop the money in the safe and all that kind of thing. Beg your parsnips. And, you know, he'd say, oh, is it okay if I go? No, yeah. Thanks, mate. And off he'd go. And one day he said, why'd you say thanks? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you pay me to be here. I said, well, I do pay you to be here, yeah, but I'm also grateful that you are. So isn't a thank you the appropriate thing to offer you? You know, I just, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Everybody's different. But there we go. So what's everyone saying in the side chat? So that we can move the topic along from the minimum wage. Oh, looks like Ross Thatcher's having his own debate in the side chat. Par for the course there. Did Creaky Blinder just have a bong? What, this thing? No, it's my drink speaker.
If you're enjoying the stream, remember to smash the like button right now.
Oh, I didn't see Drew Lewis become a channel member. How did I miss that?
Welcome to the Blinder Gang, Mosh.
Thank you, Drew. Very much indeed. So yeah, going back to what Ross said earlier on in the stream, I'm gonna have to have a look at that. and see why it is that you can't order from Australia from my merch store, which I'm not allowed to speak about because apparently that makes me a terrible person. But I'll have a look at that, Ross. Thanks for pointing it out, pal. Creaky Blinder. In Australia, you and family would probably be eligible for dole. How about there? Maybe. So, this is the sort of person I am, right? And I know we're all different, and I am definitely not throwing shade at people that have had to claim unemployment, right? Please do not misunderstand me. So, a lot of you know I worked for Pepsi for years, and all of a sudden I get made redundant. I'm in my very late 30s, I think I was just about to turn 40, and I went into full panic mode. What the hell am I going to do? Who's going to employ me? Panic. So I did go and sign on, as we call it. I'm not sure what you call it elsewhere. So I signed on, and I went home and I said to Mrs. Blinder, I have got to find a job quickly. There's no way I can do this. So I went back to that job centre every single day. Got to find a job. There was nothing suitable. Oh, the position's been filled. Had a couple of interviews, never heard anything back. And it was only a week, but anyway. 2 weeks, sorry, not a week. So it was time for me to go back and sign on again. And I went in there, and I didn't even tell Mrs. Blinder I was going to do this. I went in there and signed off. And they asked why. They said, oh, have you found employment? I said, no, I've created my own. I'm starting a business as a sign maker. I didn't have any of the equipment. All I had was £1,100, which was the redundancy money I got after working for Pepsi for 10 years. So it was basically a month's salary. And I blew every penny of that 1,100 quid on buying what I needed to buy so that I could start making signs. And that's what I did. I just couldn't. I never had, and I didn't want to do it.
Ooh, super chat. Thank you.
Hey, Creaky, what's up? I'm coming to you all the way from Leonville, Louisiana. Love your channel. I have to ask, what's the meaning of #tidy? You mean this tidy? Available in the Tidy Clothing Company merch store? It just means good, cool, awesome. Yeah, that's what it's called here, Ross, as well. Job seekers allowance. But yeah, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But that's just me. I know everyone's different, and I also know, by the same token, there's people who are quite happy to coast through life, you know, and without ambition and, you know, without the desire to improve themselves. But, you know, it is what it is. I've done the same. Creaky job centres are bad, but they are for the peeps who really need it. Yeah, I know. But it's different everywhere in the world, and you know, and everybody's got their own opinion on things. And I don't know why this live stream has become so, you know, so focused on the ins and outs of the minimum wage and the other things we've been talking about, but it has. But there we go. What can you do in it? Anyway, if nobody else has got anything else to say, and nobody wants to send me any more voice messages, I think it's about time we'll call this live stream done. I will immediately, if not sooner, get it uploaded to Creaky's Live Life. Thank you very much for everyone who super chatted. Thank you to everyone who became a channel member. Don't forget to subscribe to the second channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all in Friday's video. Take care. Love you. Bye.
Thank you all for watching Creaky Live. Don't forget to follow me on all of your social media platforms. Have a good day and have a creaky week.